Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you for waiting. So while we're waiting for the financial director to join us, I'll just quickly ask us some couple of questions. See if you know, how many of you have heard of what we call Mandela Washington Leadership Program? How many of you know? Please, if you know, you can use the chat button. Let's just quickly communicate on this issue because there's some information we'll be sharing coming from now, all right, regarding these aspects. For those of us who may not be opportune to join us on Optispectrum, we want you to be engaged in some various programs. So, and the Mandela Washington Leadership Program is one of such. So if you have an idea, just use the chat button, or you can please unmute your button, yourself and just speak to us about that while we are trying to sort out these issues, okay? Thank you very much.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Ariola. Actually, I've heard about the Mandela Washington program, and I've also participated in the program. That is not, I did not win the fellowship, but I applied and I went through the process. So the program is a very good one because it what they do is to, among so many people that apply, they select a group of youths, young people that have some leadership traits. They want to see leadership traits, your contribution to the community. So I think those are the major things that they look out for. What are the things, how have you demonstrated this leadership traits and your contribution to the community? So based on this, they choose these young ones and take them to a very standard work environment, especially in US, so that you can learn work ethics. So after training, I think the training should be whether 2 weeks or so. So they give you all the scholarship, the transport to US is paid and everything. So they will expose you and mentor you on work ethics and some other very important topics, so that what they want to do is that you come back to Africa, you come back to your home country to go and adapt or adopt what you have learned. So in terms of work, so that anywhere you work, you have this culture that makes you to stand out among every other person. So I think that is the major focus of that program. They want to impart this leadership skill and mainly work ethics in people. So after the 2 weeks of mentorship, they will again select some people that participated very well. So among these people, they will now allow them to do a kind of internship in organizations in US, so that they will be exposed to the real job where they can practice what they have learned. So I think that internship is again maybe for another few weeks. Yes, I can't really remember exactly, but I'm aware of that program and it's a very good one. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. That's a very, very a wonderful piece of information. Actually, what Emmanuel just said is the truth. So the Mandela Leadership Program, it's designed for young African leaders, all right, who will be trained on leadership, all right, and then they will be exposed to various platforms, various programs various institutions where they will learn everything about leadership to bring back again to Africa. And as you will know, Africa is really, really suffering from leadership problem. It's not because we are not talented people. It's not because we are suffering. It's not because we do not have resources or manpower. But what we have, the major problem of Africa has always been a leadership issue. All right. And that's the reason why Mandela Leadership Program is one of such, where they train people on leadership. And one of the major criteria for this is that you must be able to have developed or showcase these skills, these traits of leadership. And how do you do that? By participating in various humanitarian programs, such as disaster management, giving back to society, social development, and all of that. All right. It's a situation whereby you are showcasing that, yes, you can really, really cater and care for the environment where you live and give back to the society. And that's why on this platform, Optispectrum, we're going to be providing you such opportunities to showcase your leadership, to showcase your social skills, all right, where you can be able to give back to society. All right, and then this may qualify, because many a time, one of the criteria for selection is these, and most times people who apply don't have that opportunity. But we're going to create that platform for you to be able to showcase them, such that when next you're applying for the next year, which is 2023, then you'll be able to qualify. All right. So without more ado, I would like to welcome our financial director. This is a man that I have known for some time, and I will say that he is my mentor and a father. He has taught me on several occasions on different topics, and I've learned immeasurably. I have learned so much from him. So it's our honor today to have him on board to teach us on financial management, corporate financial management. And it's not just the management of institutions, but also of management of yourself. All right. So this is a moment I believe we don't want to miss. So please grab your paper, grab your pen, and with rapt attention, let us with a clap welcome Mr. Omorodion Omokeike, who our financial director, to take us on corporate financial management. You're welcome on board, sir.
Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to have you all on board in this internship training. And I strongly believe that at the end of this 4-week pack intensive training, each one of us will have something substantial that will make each one of us to change our world. So sorry again, at least for coming in late. It was due to some technical issue. And I strongly believe that each one of us would be on the eagle's wing this morning or afternoon, wherever you are from. Without wasting our time, quickly we'll be looking into financial management. Is a very broad aspect of accounting, but the whole essence of this training is to acquaint each one of us with the requisite knowledge and being able to win in the ever evolving global space we currently find ourselves. First on the module, we're having a kind of a snapshot of financial management. Just like what I earlier said, is not going to bore us. It's something that will really impact us. Financial management here, I put together, it play a very key role in keeping an individual or organization So what that's supposed to be, if you cannot manage your financial needs, there is no way you'll be able to manage an organization financial activity. So these aspects of management is very key. It is like a life wire. It's like a blood that is running through your system. It's very key you understand these so that you will end up like putting an establishment into like shutting out of business, as we understand that the essence of business is to make profit, is not to be operating at a loss. Any business that successively operates in losses, over time, they will go out of existence. And I believe that no one of us want to be part of such decline, or perhaps such unreasonable like atmosphere. So financial management play a very vital role in keeping an individual or organization financially strong, and establishing a strong or solid financial position, which is critical in achieving our set goals and mission. Just like as earlier said, every business is instituted for profit. Every business. Remember now, we are not talking about charity. That's something different entirely. But again, the place of financial management can also not be taken out, even when it comes to like charitable organization. So if the objective and the mission must be realized, financial management is that key each one of us need to possess. You're like, as I've earlier said, this is not just limited to where we work. It's also limited to our individual lives, our family, or whatsoever organization that you belong in, or perhaps maybe you are rendering a kind of a voluntary services. Financial management play a very vital role. So as a result of this, we'll be looking into some critical functions in financial management domain. Critical functions in financial management domain. The first I'm having on the list, producing accurate financial reports and information. As we all know that we have left the manual stage of recording financial related activity as it relates to business world. What do I mean? When you are talking about like financial management, you cannot rule out incorporating such information into like accounting software, which we'll be looking into in detail in the course of these training this morning. Someone may ask, why looking at accurate financial reports and information? Because a lot of decisions that will be made either by you, either by stakeholder or whoever that have interest on the business being conducted, accuracy of the report or information is very pivotal in terms of decision making. We have left the era where we rely on manual way of getting things done, which can be characterized with all sort of human error, or mistake, or when it comes to like fraud. But when everything is incorporated into like accounting software, there are tendency, I'm not saying that there won't be mistake, but the tendency of eliminating mistake is very high. And the accuracy in terms of the report that will be generated is also very high. And such report is very pivotal in reaching decision. You know, once you are trying to like reach a decision with the wrong report and the wrong information, it's just like a garbage in, garbage out. Whatsoever report you have at hand or whatsoever information you have at hand is what will inform the kind of decision that you are about to take. So that is why it is very critical to financial management domain, ability to produce accurate financial report and information. While the next one is developing cash flow statement. For those that are related to or from the business background, I mean like those who took study in accounting, business admin, banking and finance, they will really understand the place of cash flow statement. You know, when you're preparing like a P&L account, I mean profit and loss or income statement, you may really not see the disposition in terms of how liquid the business is. But when you put up a cash flow statement, it gives you the picture of how strong a business is in terms of meeting our immediate needs. It won't make any financial sense to procure a lot of like materials which will not be used and which will tie down the running capital of the business. That is not a financial management savvy. But with the help of a cash flow statement, in terms of like day-to-day running of the business, you will be able to manage that, or in terms of any kind of investment with the snapshot of the cash flow statement. You're on top of the game in terms of carrying out your assignment as a financial manager or expert or professional, as the case may apply to us. Then the next critical function in financial management domain is projecting profits. Projecting profit. This is just like a way trying to like assess the activity being conducted over time. In other words, this is a kind of like our expectation. Then to what extent are we being able to achieve this? This is where you have to put on your project kind of management skill into play, thereby like projecting the profit. Like the other one over here, which is managing credit. This is the area which I specialize in with some other area, but this is one of the area which I'm currently like really being very strong. Managing credit. We all know that credit is very essential when it comes to like doing business. For instance, you could like opt for like credit facility, could be from the bank, it could be from your major suppliers. The whole essence of it is to ensure that your business is up and doing. In other words, eliminating the place of tying down capital. Some business, so to say, not that they are not having some kind of fund, but they still take advantage of this credit so as not to tie down their capital. Instead, if they're having access to like such credit, they could invest some of their untouched capital into like investment that has the capacity to bring a better return when it comes to them comparing the cost of securing credit, maybe either from the bank. And when it comes to like their major vendor, that they don't necessarily need to like incur like credit cost. It is just like reaching an agreement. Okay, in the next 30 days, I will pay back whatsoever that I've taken as credit. And this is very vital for anyone that intend going into business or anyone that intend like operating in the financial management domain. If you understand this technique very well, you are on top of your game. And it is very essential that once you reach an obligation, let's say for instance, like your major like supplier of what your business is into, always ensure to keep to the agreement that is reached. Once you are getting that done, you are boosting your reputation. And that also grants you access for your credit to be reviewed upward. You know, we live in a world wherein we can't just trust anyone without doing like a business. When you do a business with an individual over time, and the business tend to like free from every form of doubt, then your trust towards such an individual, towards such an industry tend to increase. So that's what we are talking about in this in this managing credit. Is very key. Is the activity that you undergo with some businesses which you are relating with that would determine how or to what extent credit you can avail. But managing the credit is very vital when it comes to discussion that has to do with financial management domain. The next we're having is providing advice in making financial decisions. As I've earlier said, the access to accurate information can never be overemphasized when it comes to decision making. So that's why financial management domain, we always source for information that are accurate. Remember, it's not a rocket science. It is a kind of like institution that a group of people, just like you and I, can actually put in place. And you don't just like advise on the basis of, how will I put it now? Taking decision on the basis of what you just think. No, decision should be on the basis of what the data that you have access to is saying. So when you are making such decision, you are like predicting. And in such a situation, and you won't fall out of like the intended goal that the financial management team tend to achieve. And this is very vital when you are discussing with the stakeholders. I mean, like those that have a major stake in the company. Also, this will also take us to directing investment. Remember, it is what your data is speaking that will determine what is the available fund that could be invested. And with the current age which we are in, you don't just throw money anywhere. You have to look into their financial reports, the income statement, the cash flow, the balance sheet. So once you have an understanding of all of these, like for those of us maybe over here who are not really that knowledgeable in the business related / maybe finance, it is not a big deal. It is something that you can actually go through and understand it. And if otherwise, you can also seek experts in the field, at least to get you informed in terms of before getting into any kind of investment. It is very critical to financial management. Making financial making financial focus, your ability to predict tomorrow. When I say tomorrow, I'm referring to future. Your ability to forecast, and this forecast is data driven. That's why in the domain of financial management, data accuracy is very vital, as I've earlier said. That also will take us to budgeting, making plans, and also considering the resources at hand, ensuring that they are in alignment. And also, the last but not the least, managing risk of financial losses. No business being operated that won't face some sort of financial loss. But what is critical here? Your ability to analyze such financial risk and how you will be able to navigate through. There is one key element in accounting they refer to as loss leader. You could incorporate a loss leader into your operation, and meanwhile, it's just to gain an advantage over some other things that will attract customer to your business. You could be selling a certain thing and the stuff may not really be profit driven, but you can use that a kind of a tool to attract people towards your business. So financial management are very key to using a kind of a loss leader to attract people towards their business in order to maximize their profit. So it is all about your disposition of how you are able to turn around the data that is at your reach. Now we'll be looking at the relevant skills in financial management. What kind of skills you need to possess as a financial manager? Let me use the word financial manager. You need to possess strategic and analytical skills. Just like what I have on the screen now, it said financial experts need to possess a hedge cutting analytical ability. What does that translate into? So, do you really have the ability to be strategic in decision making? And that again is not just something that you just do in an imaginary world. No, you have to look back to the data. What are the numbers saying? Do you truly understand it? What is the data saying? For strategic decision making, you must have a data that is reliable. Because without that, every decision that you will try to make is like running to a dead end. Budgeting we just a thing that you just do just for doing sake without realizing it aim. You will also not be able to make the right investment due to faulty or wrong data. But again, you being strategic, analytical is very key to becoming a good financial manager or director or expert, as the case may be. So technological compliance is very key. As we all know, even with the recent COVID-19, you see a lot of things really was translated in terms of like getting business done on the kind of like a cyberspace. So that was actually a wake-up call for every attending financial managers. The emergence of accounting software and program have migrated financial management activity to cloud accounting application, making data available and accessible across multiple platforms. With the help of technology, located in the northern part of America, but we are able to relate at the same platform this time of the day, irrespective of our various location. So as anyone who is aspiring to become a financial manager or a financial expert, technological savvy is very key. It is very important for us to remain proficient in the cyberspace, even while trying to update any kind of changes that could really enhance our doing of business. And it was also interesting to know that when it comes to technology, is a continuous learning curve. In other words, it is endless. And I believe those who are into IT on this platform, they will be able to relate to what I'm saying. It's not all about knowing it today. It's all about looking at to see how better the system can become. If it is taking like 1 hour to get certain activity done within the cyberspace. So those in the financial management, not only financial management, in all field of life, as an expert, you must look at better technological platform that will enhance your result. And I urge each one of us on this platform, don't stop learning, keep learning. One of the key factors that can really make you to become a key decision making or a key decision maker is when your knowledge is relevant. In other words, translating into like a kind of a value. And we all should understand that the world is in need of solution, not problem. I will try to like cite an example here. Whenever like a job advert is published, one thing we should know that such an employer is facing a problem. So whoever that is expressing interest towards such advert that has been made, on the perspective of the employer, is looking for solution providers, not someone that will come and add problem to the existing one. And that is why whenever any one of us appear at any given interview, don't ever beg your prospective employer to employ you. That is just like you trying to like communicate to the attending employer that you are just a liability. And they have tried to manage a lot of liability from their side. And that is why this kind of advert, which we discussing now, was advertised. So they are looking for solution provider, not someone that want to come and add problem to their existing problem. And what can make you become like the preferred candidate before your employer is when you are value oriented, and nothing turn an individual to be value driven when the person is always up to date in terms of like what is the current situation within the space of their professionalism. So it's very key. It's very key. We should take note of all of these. And I know some of us over here, either they are already employer of labor or perhaps stay in the learning curve, as in trying to get something substantial in terms of like employment. But one thing for sure, every employer is looking for solution. So once you become that solution, you become employable. So that is how it works. So as an aspiring financial manager, we need to possess technological compliance. Is very key. And these are some of the areas which we can be looking into, like those in the field of finance. We have what we call Oracle. Like myself, I'm also into banking. There's something that we use over here in Canada. They call it TNSys. It is just a total system service. There is another one, MEDIF and NCCS. These are like an application that really help you to interact with our customer, and in terms of like housing or like hosting the customers information, and it is very reinforced as such that it is not attacked by cyber crime. We also have HEPRON. This is just like trying to have a centralized planning, budgeting, forecasting, but this is not something that you have to stress yourself with. Whenever you need it in terms of like wherever you are being employed, certainly you'll be taken through on how to operate some of such application, on how you can navigate through. So it's not something that we really need to stress ourselves about, but again, it can be a heads up. In other words, getting to know the applicable like application or software that can really enhance our delivery in terms of like in the financial management domain is very key. We should not also take it for granted because that can be your winning power. I think most often than not, like the one that is popularly used in Nigeria, they do have what are these softwares again? They have Peachtree, they have there's this popular one, Tally. They are all good in terms of like maintaining. Hello, you can speak up. I'm listening. So they are all important. If we can also give ourselves to training in terms of like getting to know some of such accounting application is a heads up for you as an individual. Is value. Remember, any value you have to yourself is for you forever, even when you are not even with the employer. But one thing that cannot be taken from you is the value that you've been able to add to yourself. And that make you a star anywhere, any day, anytime. So another key skill a financial manager or anyone that intend to be in the financial management space need to possess is adaptability. This is very key. Ability to change with the contemporaries. You know, not everyone actually appreciates change. And the reason why some people really fight with change because they are not willing to pay the cost. And some believe by the time they try to like relate with the change, it will make them obsolete or it will make them not competitive. But you must understand that change is very vital. You cannot tell me like the knowledge you had like 10 years ago that it will still be a winning parameter in the current age. A lot of things have changed. A lot of revolution has taken place over time. So keeping to changes is very vital, even as an individual who want to be in the financial management space. So it is easy to see why being adaptable is an important skill in financial management. You say the ever-changing nature of the industry and also considering yourself as a major adversary tool. In other words, you have to like relate with major stakeholder, the stakeholder within the company which you are working. You can't just be like talking things that are obsolete. You cannot be relevant in such a space. But by the time you start thinking of things that which technology will be able to improve in terms of what kind of activity you guys are involved in, So stakeholders are willing to listen and seeing that you are really vast and you are current as regards to the current requirement for the age. So they want to hear all of that. Considering yourself as an individual that will be leading a team of financial experts, adaptability is very key. It's very, very key. You should be ready to adapt to changes in as far as it is something that will foster our development and that will take your intending employer to the desired goals and aspiration. So it's very key that adaptability should be like a skill that a financial manager should possess. Integrity and strong value. This is another powerful one. I would like to share a short story about myself here, because I strongly believe in storytelling tend to bring about like a genuine change when it comes to like learning. That was, to be precise, it was 2014. Then I was still in United Arab Emirates, to be precise, Dubai. The first job which I got there was into they were into facility management, and we all like some of us were deployed to a certain location, and one of the location which I was deployed to, and myself and my team have the privilege of monitoring like a ticket in terms of like the vehicle coming into the facility which the company I was working for then was managing. And in the midst of that, the guy that they assigned, I was assigned with, I really don't know what was happening. And the moment I noticed, it was trying to put something into my pocket. And I asked him, what is that? He said, it is money. I said, money from where? And he said, it's just my cut from what they have made. So I was like asking, what you've made from where? He was trying to like explain and all of that. So I told him, no, I don't do that. And the day I do it, that's the day that I will die. So when he heard that, words are very powerful. At that very moment, he know that he was relating to the wrong person. As a result of that, he was even senior to me in the role then. He became so very scared. I saw that it become so very uneasy for him to be relating with me. I don't know how that translated into, I was actually planning of like reporting him to the management, but in the midst of it, he was just begging all sort of that from this work, that's where he's trying to take care of his family, said all sort of stuff. And I told him that he should remit the money back to the company purse. There's no problem, but he should never do it. As little as this may be, I don't know how it happened. Within that space of time, I don't know how the information got to the management. I was promoted. What am I saying? Integrity is very key when it comes to financial management. Don't ever embark on any kind of stealing it does not speak well of us. You must possess these as an individual before you will be able to impart that in wherever you find yourself. So there are very strict compliance or legal guidelines that finance management environment need to work within a regulatory requirement. As a financial management team, you have been entrusted with the company resources. There are set of regulatories that you need to uphold. You need to ensure that are complied with. And beyond that, you are creating a core value as an individual, which can be spoken of at any point in time. So that is very vital, integrity and strong value. The another point here is strong communication. This is very key, and I know some of us may be very shy in terms of like relating with people. Communication is very key, either in finance, either in sales, either in people management. Communication is very key. Very key. It is very essential in relationship building. You may know what, until you communicate, you may not know why. You may have an idea. Without an effective communication, you will not be able to put together of what you know to bring it into how to get certain things done. So it is very essential. And one of the area you can improve yourself in terms of like phone calls, is not just like when you receive call, who is this? You should put up a kind of a viable etiquette anytime, any day, irrespective of the person who is calling. Be cautious, be polite. And also this does not end there. Like some of us will be having a kind of like a face-to-face meeting with a business partner in terms of like our prospective customer. It is very key how we relate. And remember that being a good communicator means being equally skilled at listening. Not everyone are good in listening, but you must develop it. Sorry. You must develop good listening ability. If you don't listen, how would you be able to identify what the person is saying? Good listening brings about a better understanding, and we need to possess empathy. We must see people in our own disposition. It's very key. And also industry-specific knowledge. Those that want to work in the banking, those that want to work in the health sector, those that want to work with the government. So having knowledge of the industry, specific industry, is very key. It actually puts you a step ahead of others. Okay, the last but not the least, another key skill we need to possess when you're talking about financial management, learning curve. You must be craving for continuous professional education. And once you're doing that, you are paving way for an improvement. Like you can go in for CPA, you can go in for CMA, Certified Management Accountant. You can also go in for cybersecurity. Someone may be asking, why cybersecurity when it comes to financial management? It is required to protect your data. So this will be the few things we'll be learning today. And one thing I would like to stress on here, the skills are very vital. All that we have went through, if there are any area that you aren't there yet, then there's a need to improve on them. And if you're having such an issue, please kindly reach out to us on our various platforms, and we'll be glad at least to direct you on what to do, on how to connect you to maybe the right people that can really create that viable requirement which you are looking at for. So this will be all for today. And please, if you're having a question, you can unmute your mic and let us know about your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for this wonderful topic and learning today. Honestly, my book is full, jotted down so much points. No doubt we all have questions, and I believe even me, myself, I also have one, but I will give room to our students who are here to please ask your questions, unmute yourself, or you can use the chat button to ask your questions.
Yeah, sorry, this is Emmanuel again. Emmanuel. I want to ask a question. Can I go on, please?
Please go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the lecture. It was a very good one. I want to ask if someone who is not in the financial background wants to come into this field and we want to pursue a career related to finance management. Now, is it required, for instance, if you want to do some of this professional education that you have listed, is it required that you have a background in accounting, for instance? Can we be accepted into some of these professional bodies? So that's my first question.
Okay, you can go with the second question also.
Okay, thank you. The second question is, apart from, even if you are not interested in pursuing financial management career, but you know this skill is required even if you want to manage your own personal finance. So would you need to do CPA, CGA, this and that, just to have the knowledge? So what basic things you have mentioned a lot of things and quite a good lecture, but what basic things do we need to know to be able to manage finances, at least at the personal level or at the level of a small business? Because we don't expect everybody that has maybe one small business, all these SME, must all of them go for all these professional qualifications to be able to do well in their finances? So what basic thing do we need? What basic thing do we need? Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel, for your question. They are very valid. Let me respond to the first one, like those that are not from the finance background, if they will be able to take up a certification, just like as I've mentioned. You don't necessarily need to have an experience, but before you can be satisfied by some like CPA, you can take all the stages of the exam and pass, but they expect you to have like some level of experience so that the certification can be conferred on you, but you do not need any kind of prior experience to commence the learning and also taking the exams. But before you can be conferred with the certificate, you need to have a kind of like some experience in the related area, and that is very easy. One of the way to get that done, some can even start like kind of volunteering in terms of like area which you are actually intending to really get certified in. And in the midst of that, I've seen that work a lot. If you can be working without being paid and you are actually like creating value to the company you are volunteering your service to. So if such company is having a need of like hiring someone, the first person that they should be looking at is you. And the reason being that if you have been contributing such a great like value to the company without even being paid, they see it by the time they start giving you money, that's another like motivation for you even to do more than you have earlier done. So we can actually bridge that gap by using like this tool I just shared now. And you can also like start with like entry level, because entry level basically, if the recruiter are really genuine with themselves, they shouldn't be requesting for experience. It's just like, I think the key requirement in terms of that are people who are actually hungry to learn. I think that's a major requirement in terms of like interest. Are you willing? Is the drive there? Then going to your other question, just doing your business and if all this certification is required, it can either be yes or no. And why I'm saying that, the kind of people you are doing business with is another great requirement. For instance, maybe you are bidding for a contract and your competitors, what I mean by competitor, others who are also bidding for the same contract, if they are having all this kind of certification, the industry trying to like do a business with you, we have more confidence on those that are having all the certification. Do you know why? Because it's like they are putting up their integrity, and whenever anything happens, there are people that they can report such shortfall in terms of like the service you are delivering, and that is a great stake on the person's integrity. You know, even I've seen people that who really don't have like a good integrity, but the moment they start associating themselves with some of these professional bodies, you see, they just start gradually, they start changing in terms of how they used to behave before, because a lot of stuff is at stake now, and you wouldn't want anything to dent that. But however, if your business does not really require or a kind of such like how will I put it now, like a kind of regulatory requirement, you can make reference to other learning sources that will just give you the knowledge, but without certification. And that you can also avail from our platform. We'll be sharing a lot of link and resource material that will be able to help you in this regard. So to sum it up, it does depend on what you're actually looking at. The kind of business you are doing, is it the one that is a kind of like professionally oriented? If it is, certification will be required. It will give you like a heads up to other who are competing with you. But if not, if it's just like a kind of a local kind of stuff, it's just the knowledge you need, and you can take advantage of resource material just to acquire the knowledge without certification. I don't know if this answer your question, sir.
Yes, it did. I'm grateful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Please keep your questions rolling while our finance director is still available. Please ask your questions so answers can be provided. In the process of answering questions, we are also learning, because I have just also learned from the question that our brother just asked. Because for me, I don't have zero knowledge in accounting, but so I was wondering. But I did remember that he said you can also learn cybersecurity, which is very important for protecting your data. So which also means that you don't have to have an accounting background to go for cybersecurity. And it's one thing now that I'm even taking that course at the moment. All right, and I'm scheduled for the exam in a few weeks' time. So please, it's something. So like I said, we should always keep learning and keep adding value to yourself. All right. So more questions, please.
Okay. Hello, sir.
How are you?
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Adenika.
Okay. Thank you very much for the lecture. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, so my question has to do with the aspect of decision making. When you talked about it as a data analyst, I can relate very well how important gathering data can help make important decisions, especially for the future of the business. And I just want to be clear on some things. What's the difference between data analyst and business analyst? Is there any difference? If there is, can you let us know, please?
Business analyst, I think, is kind of like limited, and business analyst. There's a business analyst cannot even like operate without data. I think the edge that a data analyst is having over a business analyst, the data analyst will be more like strategic and perhaps having more understanding on how to like mine data and just to suit any kind of like strategic decision making. But when you're talking about like a business analyst, there's no way any business analyst we even operate without, in the absence of data. I think the thin line between them is just the data analyst will be more like vast in terms of how to manipulate data. But again, both I think will work hands in hand. I think once you are talking about like a data analyst, is a kind of more like general, but like a business analyst, a kind of like specific, just dwelling specifically on the business side of it. But the tool is not something that you can really like take out from an operation. But I think the data analyst is more like more vast in terms of mining the data, but a data analyst may not really have an understanding of the industry knowledge. I think that's where like a business analyst may also have a kind of a heads up. But the two work in hands. They are like a kind of like a thing that I would refer to as like a synergy. Both really need to work together. I think what we basically have these days, when you are talking about like a business analyst, is someone that is actually riding on the wing of data. I think that's just the slim kind of distinction I can see between them. I don't know if this answers your question.
Yes, the reason I have to ask is because there are some when people want to like recruit and they just put the job description as business analyst, and as then they are wondering, can I apply for this role and things like that. That's the reason why I had to ask to be sure of a difference, if there's much difference, and if a data analyst can still play that role of a business analyst.
I think if in respect of that, data analysts would be more technical in nature. It means his or her role will not just only be dependent on like business side of it. It could even resort to like the aspect of engineering, production. It is more vast, kind of. I think what I would advise is to go through the job description in detail, and from there you'll be able to know if it's something you can do or not. As going through the job description would be, I think, the best answer to really know if something that you'll be able to like walk through. But again, I think there are some business analysts who will not be able to do a data analytical job. The data analyst, I think, is more technical. Is really more technical, because like everyone here now, we're all business analysts. You know why? In as far as you have knowledge in your area or in your field, you are automatically known as a business analyst. You can come up with business improvement. You can come up with business idea. You can come up with better way of getting things done. That just make you a BA, but that does not qualify you to be a data analyst. So there are a lot of stuff which you need to know. It's really more detail when it comes to like the data analyst is detail. Is detail. I think I can really see the distinction now. Is something different. It is greatly different. I believe like some of our IT experts and the platform will be able to relate this. It's actually different. It's more detailed. And again, depending on the industry, if they are just like a consulting, then they expect that different thing entirely. If it's like an industry which you are familiar with, if they say data analyst, it's something that you can still walk through. It's just like someone coming from the banking background and they said they need a data analyst in bank. So it's something that you can really relate with. But if it's an industry that you don't have any idea of, then it can really be challenging if they say they are looking for a data analyst. I don't know if this answered the question better.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
If I may, it permits me, sir, am I permitted to just quickly add something, sir?
Yes, please.
Okay. Just like I said, as a data analyst, you're working with so much data, all right? And your data you're working with is going to be specific to some industries. For instance, if you're a data analyst in health sector, the data you'll be working with and manipulating is going to be different from engineering because, for instance, in the health sector, you'll be talking about data of patients' data, all right, and how to manage those data, just like we did before in the presentation we had about you're someone who is just broad, all right? You're not being specific, all right? You can work with data, general data. However, when you have to be specific, you have to align your knowledge skill, your data analyst skill to specific industry. That may give you an edge, all right? So just like you said, you should try to look at the job description to see if it's something that you have a knowledge in, all right? And if it is, then of course you can go in for it. As a business analyst, you basically within a certain domain, a certain restricted domain. And like I said, almost every one of us are business analysts. If you go to LinkedIn today, you see many people putting their profile as their business analyst. Why? Probably because of their exposure within their own profession. All right. But as a data analyst, more encompassing and more broad, and it requires a lot and lot of certifications on that aspect. I have a question, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
As a business person, you talked about credit management. All right. I want to know, how do organizations use credits to their advantage? You talked about leveraging on the credits that are available to institutions, all right, that are available for instance, from banking and all of that. So how can we use these advantages to the advantage of the company without losing or going into debt? How do we do that? Because we do understand that many a time when corporate institutions are not able to meet up with the demand or keep the bargain, most times the banking or financial institutions take over the operation of such banking or such institution. So how can we avoid these pitfalls? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. First and foremost, the word credit is trying to avail service and on a credit basis. In other words, like trying to avail credit facility. We can see this in twofold. One, you can approach like a financial institution, and no financial institution will just give a business a credit without having understanding of how they have been faring. And if it's an existing business, they could request for some of your financial statement. They want to see how you've been faring, and they can also carry out a credit check on you. If, for instance, you've borrowed from a business or you borrow from any financial industry before, so what is your payment disposition like? Is it that you just took it and you never say anything back to them? They will be able to see it from your credit report. And depending on where we stay, currently I really don't know in terms of Nigeria. I know they call them credit bureau, and there could also be some other private, which I'm not too sure of, but that's where the bank will source such information from to know, are you really viable? What you claim to be, are you? But for anyone trying to go into the business for the first time, so your business proposal is another key factor, but most often than not, it is being turned down, most especially in a country where things are not really working. But in a system where things are working, they don't turn it down. They have to look at the impact of such fund being released to such individual. Will it bring about the spell out like proposal as it is contained in your plan? Is it something that will impact the host community favorably? All of that. So there is no risk here when it comes to like a system that is working, even though you are new into the business. It's just to have a very befitting business plan. And that's on the aspect of like trying to source from a financial institution. There are other way you can avail a credit facility. Like if you are into any kind of business, but you have vendors or like those people you are sourcing material from, you can request that certain number of supply should be made, but it will be on a credit basis. In other words, you could have an agreement that within the next 30 days, I will pay. That's why some people can actually go into business without enough fund at hand. And they can supply such product. So if you are unable to pay within the stipulated time, that is a weight on your credibility. That's why as a businessman, a businesswoman, if you have made any form of commitment, if it means getting other things done that are ethical, you have to do it to ensure that you meet the promise which you have given. These are like the two sides of it. But again, that's where the aspect of like the financial management will have to come in. Before requesting for credit, you must ensure that there are viable platform for such credit to translate into a kind of like, I will use the word like an investment. So what would be the return on investment if you take such fund? These are like pertinent questions you have to ask yourself if you are within this very space. You have to ask, these are genuine questions. It's not something that you just assume. No, you have to engage your meditation arsenal. You must be genuine. You must be genuine in the answers. If the answer is no, there is no need of over embarking on it, because it will not only damage your reputation. Do you know that goodwill is very key to business? If your credit accessibility is destroyed by your activity, I mean like your inability to pay back, you are denting your reputation, and it's not a good one for business. And no business can really operate effectively without accessing credit. Do you know why? For instance, like there are some capital that you have, you can put them into some like long-term investment. We should know that these are risk-free, but you can avail this credit to run your day-to-day operation without tying down any form of capital. That's why those that really understand how credit facility work, they actually really take advantage of it. And not only that, they are building reputation with whoever that is financing them. It could be your suppliers, it could be the financial services. So whichever the case may be, remember, either financial service, they are having a lot of customer. Either your supplier, they're having a lot of customer. A time will come, maybe they're having limited resources. It's those that are genuine in terms of their commitment that they will serve first. So I don't know if this answered the question, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So any other question? Do we have any other question?
And before we end the session, like any female among us that would be interested in like cyber security, just contact us on our platform. We will walk you through on how you can get registered for it. But that you can register for it now, but the training, it is free of cost, but we'll try to like see how you get registered for it. Those that are interested in cyber security, that's female, just reach out to us and we'll walk you through on how you can be part of that training, and you will be trained and also you will be certified.
Thank you very much, sir. So we will send the link, or you can actually indicate your interest on the chat session. Give us your name and all the information that we need, so that we can pass it on to him to register you for the cyber security. All right. And we want to thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful lecture today. We have really, really received a lot. And I can say that my learning has been enhanced today. Thank you very much. And I believe everyone on this platform has also received one thing or the other. So like we said before, try to make sure that the next week gets prepared. We will send you all the links to all our videos, all our training sessions since the inception, so that you can take a look at them, learn, because we're going to present to you all the questions on the last day, which is next week. You're going to write maybe about 15 minutes quiz session from all the topics that we have covered so far. And after that, our global HR will be meeting out to everyone. I think she has a special program for the pioneers of the Optispectrum Academy, because you are our pioneer students. So she has special interest for you. And this is something personal. I'm not going to divulge the secret. It's just for you. So please make sure you are ready on time, because she has something, information she's going to be passing across to you on that day. And it's for your benefit. I can tell you it's for your benefit. So I can say you are highly favored to be part of this platform. Actually, there were 77 applicants who applied to our program, to our job adverts, and only those people, a few of you, were selected for this. So I would say that you are highly favored to be part of this. And please do not look down on this program. Do not underplay it. It's very, very important. Yeah, I'm going to tell you that you have signed up for this. It's a sure way that you are on your way to the top. All right, because we have had a commitment to ensure that every one of you who were part of us, even if you are not going to end up with us as part of our management intern, at least those who will be out will definitely have access to other programs that's going to enhance your life. Enhance your career going forward. So please, this is a very unique opportunity. Do not blow it, okay? So please, if you have not been following us on our platform, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on Twitter, please have already pasted the link on LinkedIn. Kindly follow us. And if you have not joined us on our Optispectrum Academy group on LinkedIn, kindly please do that right away. All right, click on the link that is already shared. Let me share it again. Just quickly do that now. Follow us and register. Join the group.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Please, I missed my network went off. I missed what you said to the females, sir.
Yes, our finance director says if you are a female and you are interested to receive training in cyber security and to receive certifications, you should kindly indicate on the chat box. All right, you can send us your name and your contact, your email address, so you can be registered for the program. All right, he is doing this for free. So if you are interested, only for the female registrant. So if you're interested, you can share your information. Okay. Then earlier on, we talked about the Mandela Washington Leadership Program. So we have a special session coming up for us to put us through on that. So if you're also interested, let us know so that we can walk you through. I believe somebody had talked about it before, and we're going to create the platform for you to be able to learn and some certain things so that you can qualify for the program. So we're here to not just take your time, but we want to give back. We want to ensure that whatever we have reflects on you, all right, so that you can also pass on the same leadership to others. That is how we can change the world. Some people contact the light, they transfer the light to others, and then it becomes a chain reaction. So this is what we want to do, all right? So please constantly watch out for this platform. Also check your emails, check our LinkedIn pages, all right? And the group also, you'll be getting this information from time to time, all right? So before we call it a day, if you have any other question, if you have any suggestion or anything you want to pass across, please, you can quickly do so before the finance director will sign off on this platform.
Okay, sorry. So there's no quiz today?
No, for today, there will not be any quiz session. So just wait till the last session, which is coming on Saturday. So you are going to have all the quiz sessions from the very beginning of our session until the last. Okay, so we're going to collate all of them together, and then we'll ask you some questions. So just during the week, we're going to send you the links to the videos. All right, so that you can check all the things that we have learned so far. And then for those of you who had requested for our books for access to free materials, so we're going to send you a discount code. These books are not free, but we'll send you, we've been able to come up with something to help you. So we're going to give you 100% discount code to download those books from our online stores. Okay, so we're going to receive it either through your email or on our LinkedIn platform, so you can apply it on the checkout box so that it will be 100% free for you. Is that okay? So any other question?
Some of them indicated their interest for the cybersecurity training. Is this something that you will just take note of, or you'll be able to access it later?
Yes, I can access them since they have already put it. Please kindly put the information on the chat box so that we can be able to access it later. If you don't put it here now, we won't be able to access it. So if you are interested, please put it on the chat session, all right? So we can be able to access them later, okay? So sir, we will be able to access the information later. So your name, we need your names, your full name, I mean, the way it is officially on your passport or your identity card. And then we also need your email address. All right, this is very important because only those that indicate interest are the ones that will be registered. Okay, thank you very much. So, sir, I believe, okay, we will just give extra 5 minutes for those who are interested to be able to put in the information on the chat box. Sorry, Mr. Susao David, this is only for the only for females. All right. Sorry that I will not be able to accommodate you in this aspect. We will, of course, make provisions for others later on, but for now, this is also for the ladies. Thank you. So we have 2 minutes more to sign off. So quickly do that. So for those of you who are interested in a mentorship program, personal mentorship program with our HR director, very soon you'll be, we're going to launch our site where you can be able to register directly to her. All right, so that is also coming up very, very soon. I believe by next week it should be ready, where you can register and sign up directly if you want mentorship. I mean, one-on-one mentorship. Although she charges this mentorship is to do a one-on-one mentorship is about $2,000. But since you are our how do I put it now, our pioneer, I believe she's going to be doing it for free for you as a way of impacting and giving back to society. Okay, so by next week, the page will be ready where you can be able to sign up to her mentorship program. Thank you. That's also another information I wish to share on her behalf. Okay, so I believe we are through. So they have all indicated interest. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Please, like I said before, next week, Saturday, the Global HR is going to be passing a very unique information to you, and not just for you, but to those who are connected to your friends, your families, your acquaintances, those who you care about. So please, once you relate this information, you can do well to pass the information across to your friends and your colleagues so that they can also benefit on the program. All right, I will not disclose the information. She will have to do that on Saturday, but please just stay tuned because it's something that you definitely want to hear. All right, thank you very much for this session, and thank you very much, sir, the finance director, for having you on board to take us on this lecture today. Indeed, it was really an impactful session. We thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much, sir. So at this point in time, we will have to sign off. So we'll call it today. So we'll be expecting you again next week, same time on Saturday. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.